The heroes in our favorite animated movies usually take center stage, but sometimes their lovable sidekicks end up taking the spotlight. From being loyal and true to being hysterical and incredibly adorable, sidekicks make the movie. After all, what is a hero without their best friend and sidekick? Today, we will be discussing some of the cutest animated sidekicks to date. But before we get started, make sure to take a quick moment to click on that subscribe button. You'll join our notification squad and stay up to date with these types of videos and more. One more thing, can you guess what feature film these emojis are showing? Find out at the end of this video. Russell. Up. A grouchy old man, an 8-year-old Eagle Scout, and a dog walk through the jungle carrying a house on his back. Sounds like a kooky and wacky joke, right? Definitely, but it's actually what happens in Pixar's film Up. The film starts off with a young Carl who we see grow up with, fall in love with, marry, and grow old with his best friend Ellie. The sweetness doesn't last as Pixar decides to rip our hearts out when Carl is widowed and later faces a court-ordered eviction that will put him into a nursing home. So he does what any sane person would do and straps up millions of balloons to his house and floats over to Paradise Falls in South America, where he and Ellie promise to travel to. There's just one problem with the plan. He's got a stowaway. An eager wilderness explorer named Russell who accidentally ends up on Carl's porch when the house takes off. Russell's dedication to the wilderness explorers is infectious, along with his positive and enthusiastic look on life. He's an adorable kid who we would have loved to have had as a BFF in elementary school.
That's it?
He provides a lively contrast to Carl's grumpiness and also helps to remind him and all of us of the importance of remembering our inner child.
Trust me, my hook is the coolest collectible.
MOANA. One of the coolest stories in modern Disney cinema is definitely MOANA. The brave Polynesian princess taught us that following your dreams is the most important thing you can do. Although MOANA faced a lot of obstacles like her family, duty, and even self-doubt, she never let any of it control her. On Moana's home island of Motunui, she was surrounded with the comfort and shelter of family, and of course, her best friend and sidekick, Pua, the adorable little pig. Sadly, little Pua was left behind on the island when Moana left on her adventure. Instead, she got stuck with a not-so-bright stowaway rooster, Hey Hey. Great, we laugh at the dumb rooster who was constantly putting himself in danger. But we can all probably agree that Pua should have been the star's sidekick. In an earlier version of the story, filmmakers stated that Pua did go on the trip, but they were talked out of it as they wanted to have Moana be more independent. We totally get that Moana was all about finding herself, and we loved that. But Pua totally deserves some more screen time, don't you think? He is just too cute.
Come here, little squishy.
Ow! Dory, Finding Nemo. Originally, Disney took us into the ocean through the eyes of the Little Mermaid, Ariel. But years later, and with more advanced technology, we were able to dive in literally and explore a more realistic and almost surreal world of the ocean floor. Finding Nemo made us laugh, cry, and rejoice all within a short span of time.
There I go. Little help over here.
Here we meet a clownfish, Marlin, who loses his wife and his eggs, aka kids, in a vicious barracuda attack. Well, all of his kids except for one. We then see Marlin become an overprotective parent to his son Nemo. But when Nemo is fishnapped, Marlin sets out to the open ocean in search of him. Along the way, he finds everyone's favorite character, a forgetful blue tang named Dory. Although she can't remember pretty much anything, she is brave, fiercely loyal, and always remains positive. She always comes through. She helps her friends, makes new friends everywhere, and finds fun in anything. Remember when she befriended a shark and went through that dangerous swarm of jellyfish? Her fearlessness and loyalty make her the best friend anyone can have. She taught us that no matter how bad anything gets, we just gotta keep swimming.
Wow, you really don't know anything about love, do you?
Olaf, you're melting.
Olaf, Frozen. We have a very important question to ask you. As Princess Anna would say,
do you want to build a snowman?
Your answer should always be yes. Who doesn't love snow? We know, the song is stuck in our head too. When Frozen hit theaters, it took the world by storm. And like Elsa says, the storm rages on. This winter takeover gave us a new age of independent princesses and a great story of sisterly love. But we also got some adorable sidekicks like Olaf the Happy Snowman. Move over, Frosty the Snowman. Olaf waddled his way into our hearts with his adorable cluelessness and goofy face. He is silly and blissfully unaware, and some might consider him a bit annoying. But this totally positive outlook on life is just the most endearing thing ever. Let's also not forget how fiercely loyal he is. He helped save Anna from certain death, even though that meant possibly melting. Whether you like him or not, you'll have to admit he's definitely one of the best sidekicks to have around. Who wouldn't want a funny friend who always looks at the positive side of things? BAYMAX, Big Hero 6. In Big Hero 6, we get to see a wonderful mesh of characters. It is technically a loose adaptation of a Marvel Comics superhero series, but at its core, it's Disney all the way. The story takes place in a city called San Francisco, where awesome robots and technology reign supreme. This movie stands out because of the adorable BAYMAX, the inflatable robotic nurse. His inventor was an engineering student, Tadashi Hamada, who passed away in a suspicious fire at San Francisco Tech. His younger brother Hiro falls into despair, but BAYMAX draws him out, as he is programmed to make people feel better. It is safe to say that fans of Big Hero 6 will all agree that BAYMAX completely stole the show. Yes, we know it's totally hard to believe, but in reality, BAYMAX is not the main character of Big Hero 6. A lot of the marketing for the film relied heavily on BAYMAX, and we were totally on board with it. In the comics, BAYMAX was actually a shape-shifting golem who morphed into a dragon and robot during battle. Doesn't sound as cute, does it? The directors visited the Robotics Institute at Carnegie Mellon University and were immediately enamored by the soft robots that were covered in inflatable vinyl.
Excuse me while I let out some air.
Thus, the huggable robot was born, and we are so thankful for it. Baby Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy. In a world dominated by superhero movies, there is one series of movies that stood out among the colorful costumed heroes. Guardians of the Galaxy is hands down the #1 fan favorite of all Marvel movies. It had everything. Heroes, anti-heroes, cute critters and sidekicks, aliens, and amazing humor. Oh yeah, and let's not forget Star-Lord's amazing taste in music. So put on your headphones and turn on your Walkman, because we are about to discuss the best part of that movie. Obviously, that is Groot. The tall character becomes even more amazing after his totally selfless sacrifice. In the second film, he has grown from a little planted sapling to a teeny tiny version of himself. If you thought full-size Groot was sweet and adorable, then Baby Groot is probably too much to handle. His cuteness is off the charts, and he pretty much is responsible for holding the Guardians family together. In the second film, the whole clan is constantly looking out for Baby Groot. He's adorable when he dances, and is even cuter when he gets angry. Just look at those big eyes. Sadly, Groot doesn't stay tiny forever, but we can't wait to see what teenage and adult Groot do in the next films.
What?
Ugh.
Dante, Coco. No Pixar film is complete without an adorable and lovable sidekick. Most of these sidekicks are more like best friend, and Pixar's latest film, Coco, delivers with a brand new adorable dog named Dante. He starts off as a silly and goofy street dog who loves food and loves Miguel. Throughout the film, we see that he is fiercely loyal, positive, and always ready for an adventure. His disheveled appearance is not just because he's a street dog. He is actually a Xolo dog, an ancient breed dating back 3,500 years. They are believed to have healing powers and be guides to the underworld, which would explain Dante's power to travel back and forth between the land of the living and the dead. Like all Xolos, Dante has heavy hair on his head, ears, tail, and sparse hair on his body. He is silent but charming due to his clumsy personality and too long tongue. Dante also has some scrappy-looking ears and an overabundance of wrinkles. But despite his totally scraggly appearance and total silence, Dante totally stole the show. And how cool did he look when he transformed in the land of the dead? Pascal, Tangled. Disney films are usually full of romance and princesses who need saving. Tangled changed all that with a sassy Rapunzel and adorable sidekick. Sidekicks are usually sassy or very vocal about everything, including their apprehension of new friends or the epic quest. Pascal is no exception, except for the fact that he has no voice, it seems. Pascal is the little chameleon sidekick and best friend to Rapunzel. Although Rapunzel's hair was also a character and sort of sidekick, Pascal stood his ground. You'd think it would be easy to overlook the teeny tiny chameleon who blends into everything. Pascal is one of the most memorable characters in the movie. Don't let his size fool you. Pascal is not someone you would want to mess with. In the end, Mother Gothel trips over him and out the window. Little dude packs a punch. He's not only cute and pocket-sized, but he's got a big attitude. Like OLAF, he is extremely loyal. Despite never uttering a word, this little guy makes himself heard by pointing, changing colors, and of course using those gigantic expressive eyes. His appearance makes him completely adorable, but it's the feistiness and totally protectiveness of Rapunzel that melts our hearts. Boo, Monsters, Inc. When we were kids, we feared many things like the dark and what was hiding in the shadows. Some of us even thought we had monsters hiding under our beds. Thankfully, we grew up and came to find out that there was no such thing. But leave it to Disney to create a wonderful story about our childhood fears and turn it into a whimsical and lighthearted world. Monsters, Inc. explored the world of Monstropolis, in which monsters have to scare kids and collect their screams to power their city. The scarers are respected because kids are considered toxic. Energy production is failing because kids are becoming less scared. Top scarer Sully discovers that Randall has left a door activated on the scare floor and a little girl has entered the factory. After a bit of chaos, Sully gets attached to the little girl and nicknames her Boo, and cuteness ensues. This wide-eyed, adorable toddler wins over big monster Sully and their friendship melts our hearts, especially hearing little Boo babble in gibberish. He then finds out that Randall is working with their boss, Mr. Waternoose, to kidnap and use the Scream extractor on kids. Our heart breaks at the end of the film when Sully has to return Boo home. We're not crying. You're crying. PORGS, The Last Jedi. Whether you've been a longtime Star Wars fan or a new one, chances are you've been consumed by the wonder that is the universe of Star Wars. With the franchise being acquired by Disney, it seems like it has quite literally taken over. There is not a single product out there that you can't find a Star Wars version of. But hey, it's a great franchise. So when the trailer for The Last Jedi was released, the hype was totally real. Especially for the little critters who made their debut while flailing next to Chewbacca. Fans were immediately divided. Some quickly obsessed over them and others saw them as cheap marketing gimmicks for kids' toys. Just like the Ewoks. These cute hamster-eyed penguins are actually a weird amalgam of pugs and puffins, and were also created as a way to mask the actual puffins on Skellig Michael during shooting. They couldn't move them because they were in danger. They're also meant to provide comic relief, just like when we see Chewie about to chomp down on a roasted porg only to find one staring right at him in shock. They're pretty much the cutest critter in any Star Wars film, but they don't really provide any purpose to the story, other than make us totally want to buy tons of adorable porg merchandise. Come on, how can you resist those adorable eyes? Those were some of the cutest animated sidekicks ever. What did you think? Who were your favorites? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more in our awesome playlist. And here is the answer to the emoji quiz. Did you get it? Let us know below. And as always, thanks for watching.